Hello, my name is Valita Falk, and I am the owner of Official Ink Notary Service here in Michigan, and also the founder of Michigan Notaries Unite, which is a 501c3 with a mission to provide access to educational and professional development resources for Michigan notaries. So today I want to talk to you all about mobile notary fees. This is a question that comes up a lot in some of the Facebook rooms. So I thought I would try to put together, I'm going to put together this video, but I also created a mobile notary calculator that I'm going to share with you all today. So if you're new to mobile notary work, there are plenty of questions surrounding how to price your mobile notary service. We need to make sure we're clear about the value and the expertise we bring. We are trained professionals, and many of us have invested a lot of money into becoming not only a notary, but a loan signing agent. So we need to make sure that we understand our value because we've invested in ourselves. And I think for a lot of us, because the work is easy and we enjoy it a lot, we tend to underprice ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with that because we are public servants, but you need to at least understand how much you're underpricing yourself. And you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're essentially paying someone to notarize their document. So I'm going to share with you today what I include in my mobile notary fee. And then I'm going to share the calculator with you and how I use it. So I include the state maximum fee per notarial act, of course, which in the state of Michigan, where I'm commissioned, it is $10 for each notarial act. The important thing, though, is the travel fee. Because I am a mobile notary, I need to charge for my time and travel. A lot of people forget to include their time in their travel fee. So my travel fee includes time as well as mileage. I charge for my time in the form of an hourly wage. I'm sure you've heard the saying, time is money, and it may sound cliche, but it's really true. Your time is valuable and you have to treat it that way. So if you're not sure how to determine your hourly wage, the Bureau of Labor Statistics provides an estimate of the average wage for each state in the United States. So this was very helpful for me in determining how much to charge per hour. I am also a W-2 employee, so I couldn't go by my W-2 job of 28 years. So naturally, my per hour based on my job is going to price me out of the market for doing this notary work. So I use the state average. So here in Michigan, the state average is $28 an hour. I also include my round trip mileage, and I base that on the IRS standard mileage rate, which is 0.585 cents for the year 2022. So every year in my calculator, I'm going to be updating that standard mileage rate. And this is just to give you a baseline. So for those of you who just came up with a flat fee that you charge for your mobile service that is not math-based, again, if you've come up with a flat fee for your mobile notary service that is not math-based, I strongly suggest that you interrogate your current and past signings, the fees that you collected, just so you know, just to ensure that you're making a profit or to understand whether you really made a profit or not. To see if you even broke even. You want to at least break even. I mean, because some of us are doing this just for the love of it. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be spending money to provide this service. It should be a benefit to you or a break even. The bottom line is it shouldn't cost you to do this work. So if you find yourself in the red after you interrogate like some previous signings or previous general notary work that you've done, you can always adjust your fees going forward. It's nothing to feel bad about, but this is just to give you some transparency and insight onto as far as what you're actually making for the service that you're providing. So if you find yourself in the red, like I said, just adjust your fee and please pay yourself no matter how much you love what you do. Why? Because we're trained professionals, right? We do much more than make an appearance for a quick stamp and signature. It's more to it than that. We've acquired an expertise that requires us to critically analyze every encounter. you need to speak with the signer, especially when you're dealing with the elderly. You need to speak with them and make sure they understand, not only understand what they're signing, but that they're signing of their own free will and they're not being coerced or that they're not under duress. There's a certain expertise that comes with that. It's not easy. And it's not easy to have to tell someone, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to notarize this signature because Mrs. Jones just is not convincing me that she really understands. That's very difficult to do. So when you're setting your fees, you have to understand that that is an expertise that you're providing. So I'm going to get into the calculator now. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to take a look at the calculator that I've created. Now, this is a Google Sheet that I've created here. So let me get the screen up. Here we go. So this is going to be, this is one. So I'm sharing screen number one. Okay, so this is, I'm going to make this bigger so we can all see. Let's get this up to about 100. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so this is the sheet that I collected. So I'm just going to go through this. And so here I've included the IRS standard mileage, and I put a note here that this needs to be updated daily. And then there's a note here, do not type in the yellow cells because they are going to calculate automatically. So the only thing I need to provide is the from address, the to address. And the from address is usually going to be your home address. And then that's going to automatically calculate my round trip miles and the round trip minutes, the time that I'm spending driving. And then I already have in here my state maximum notarial act fee is $10. And then I'm going to decide, like I told you earlier, my hourly wage is $28 an hour. And then for an appointment, we're going to pretend that this is a general notary work appointment. So I'm going to allot 30 minutes for that. And then we're going to say it's just one notarial act. Okay, so now I need to go back and put in some parameters for address. So I'm just going to use an address. I'm just going to make oops. So this mileage and drive time is pulling directly from Google Maps. So we're going to say, and you don't have to put in a zip code if you don't know it. You just need to have the house number, street, and city and state. And so we're going to say we're going to Detroit Main Library and see if that gives us some miles. So this is estimated, and I don't know which library, but this is just so that you have an idea of how this works. So my round trip miles is 35 miles, and my total drive time for this signing is 48 minutes. So this is telling me for my time, my mileage, which is my cost per mile, is going to be $30. But my time also is $39 because I gave myself $28. So I'm being paid for the time that it's taking me to drive. So my total travel fee is $70. And this is to drive 35 miles round trip. And then my notary fee for that one notarial act is $10. Now, you see the note here, it says estimated value of your time, effort, and expertise. It's $80, which I believe is reasonable. You're paying for convenience, but by no means, this does not mean that this is what you have to charge. So now next I want to do an example where some of us, I know some people are doing general notary work for people who live very near to them. So let's just pretend that we have a neighbor who is down the street. So I'm just going to do like 2909. I'm just making up an address. And here this person is on the same block. And this is, again, this is not for you to say, okay, that's what I'm going to charge. It's to put you in the ballpark to make sure that you understand what your time and efforts cost. So of course you're not actually driving. And if you did drive to it, it's saying it's 2 miles, and this is rounding up. So at a minimum, it's going to automatically calculate 1 mile. There's nothing less than a mile. And then the time is 6 minutes round trip. So we're doing $10 per notarial act. I got my wage here, and I'm saying it's 30 minutes. Now, the reason I'm allotting 30 minutes, even though it's right down the street, is because let's just pretend that this is a day where you have back to back, your day is full. So you need to allot time, because you don't know what type of issue you're going to run into at the table or when you get there. Maybe they can't find their ID. You just need to, you should never assume an appointment is going to take 5 minutes. You are blocking 30 minutes of your time to make sure you take good care of your client. So as you can see here, when this calculates, it's giving me a return of $40, which I think is very reasonable. Now, it doesn't mean you have to charge that again, but this is saying, even if it's right down the street, by the time you calculate your time and effort and transportation, maybe you're walking down the street, but whatever it is, it's at least worth at least $40 for you to provide that service. You are getting up out of your bed or out of your chair or off of your couch or whatever it is you're doing, providing this convenient service to someone. Do not feel ashamed or feel bad about saying, hey, this is my price. Now, if you want to work with somebody, you can always do that. But this is just for your own personal knowledge to see what the estimated value of your time, effort, and expertise is. Now, this is a big one. So I want to talk now. We're going to pretend like this. I think I'm going to pretend that we're leaving from this first address. I want to really show you what it looks like for a refinance package. So we're going to say this refinance is going to take place at Starbucks on Woodward Avenue, Detroit, Michigan. Oops. Okay, let's get our mileage here. So this is Southfield to Detroit. This is telling me it's about 36 miles round trip, and the total drive time round trip is going to be 47 minutes. Again, I got my $10 here, my wage. Now, for a refinance, most of us allot 60 minutes. It doesn't take, if you've been doing this for a while, of course, it doesn't take you 60 minutes, but you allot that time because, again, you don't know what you're going to run into, what type of issue you may run into at the table, and you have to allow time to resolve any issues. Now here, where we get to the notarial acts, on average, and I'm going to be nice on this one. I usually use 9 as an average number of notarizations in a refinance package, but for today, I'm going to go ahead and go with 7. Because some of them, it's somewhere in between there. So I'm going to say there were 7 notarizations in this package. Okay, so all of these fields are automatically calculated. So you can see here that the estimated value of your time, effort, and expertise is $160. That's based on you at least getting the state average wage, $10 per notarial act. This is what your time and effort and expertise is worth. This is what it is worth. So when we see, for some of you who may not understand, when you see signings come through some of the apps for some of the signing services, and they're $62, $50, you have to really factor in, does this make sense for me to drive all this way when getting $62 when really this is what it's worth? So let's just pretend then say, okay, for a notary who is living in Southfield should not be taking a signing that's all the way in Detroit, that's so far away, because surely there are notaries in the Detroit area who are a lot closer that could take care of this. So let's just put this, let's just say they chose a notary who lived in Detroit. So I'm going to use this address. It's the old address I used to have years ago. Okay. So let's just say this person is coming from Detroit. So we're coming from a little closer distance. So we got 19 miles round trip. Okay. You can see here that it's still $140. And this is not even including the cost of printing the documents. So again, this is just to give you an idea of where you are. This tool is really going to be helpful for you when pricing for your general notary work. Loan signings, it just shows you, you know, what we're really doing here. So I think it's safe to say that for the loan signings, we're probably really just not being paid to notarize the documents. You're taking the loan signing, it's a flat fee. They're not paying you per notarization. So for a loan signing, we really probably should zero that out. So if you zero out the notarial acts, then those loan signings that come through are probably in the ballpark as far as how much they're offering. So, you know, it's just multiple ways to look at it. But if you like this calculator, I think it will be helpful for you. I put a lot of work and effort. I would really like to get some feedback on it. If you're interested in this calculator, I'm going to leave a link down below so that you can have access to it. Also a link if you want to talk to me about it. Or if there's any additional fields that you would want to see calculated in here, let me know. Let me know. It's a work in progress. It's something that I wish I had had in the very beginning. I probably would have done things different. I will admit that I have undersold myself plenty of times, because the bottom line is I love this work. I love the work and it's easy for me. And you know, when you love something that's easy for you, you it's easy for you to do it for free, but you should not be doing it for free. So I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.